threw the first punch. The Palestinians were the victims, correct?
I'm not acknowledging they did, because they themselves are the result of like the Balfour Agreement. They got screwed around and
What?
What?
The Palestinians screwed themselves over with the Balfour
I didn't say the
That-
Israelis.
Okay,
The Israelis got screwed over
let's
by
clarify.
the British. The Israelis got screwed over by the British. The British handed
There was no Israel. The British created the state of Israel.
We need a word that we can use to refer to those people. I chose to call them Israeli. What do you want to call them?
The Jewish people.
I can't
Jewish
call them
people.
because Jewish people live everywhere in the world.
Zionists.
The people who live, Zionists is
No,
an
but Israel is a
ideology, I
state
don't
for
think
all
that.
Jewish people
Jewish Zionists.
around the globe.
I just need, pick any word you want that's vaguely accurate for the group of people who live on that real estate, okay?
It was Palestinians. Then they were ethnically cleansed.
What am I supposed to call Israelis? I just need a word for Israelis.
Jewish Palestinians.
Yeah, the Zionists.
Jewish
The
Palestinians.
Zionists.
Jewish Palestinians. No, Zionism is an ideology I don't embrace.
The
I'm
people
actively
who
against it.
have embraced that ideology and stole the land.
Look, clearly, if you look at the state of Israel, there's massive inner turmoil. Not everybody is of one mind. There are people who are Zionists and people who are anti-Zionist. And I would hope you would support the people who are anti-Zionist.
Absolutely,
Okay,
100%.
Okay,
There are many
so-
anti-Zionist Jews. They're doing a great job.
Excellent. So my guess is it's just possible that within the 1,000+ people who got killed on Saturday the 7th, there may have been a few anti-Zionists as well. It really is possible. Isn't
No,
it?
because
No?
anti-Zionists aren't settlers.
Okay.
Anti-Zionists don't go illegally and
you're
settle
sure?
the land of
Is
Palestinians.
this your 100% certainty?
Yes, I'm
You're
very
100%
certain. If you're truly anti-Zionist,
no-
you're not going to support settlements. You're not going to support being on those, like that rave party, for example, that supposedly Palestinian terrorists went and killed 260 innocent Israeli civilians. This was in a military outpost. Many of the people there are confirmed to have been a part of the IDF. Maybe 100% of the people who were there were in the IDF. Is that a legitimate target for a self-defense movement to target a military post that is occupying your land and subjecting your people to a genocide, to an ethnic cleansing? Can you fight back against that? Or you should just sit back and watch them dance and have a party while your children are starving to death. Tell me, give me moral clarity, Tony.
I'm attempting to give clarity, and I totally hear the emotive logic of what
You're compromised, Tony. You're compromised. You're sleeping with the enemy.
No.
Your wife is
You admitted it. You admitted it.
I'm not. I hear the emotive logic of your point, nonetheless.
Emotive
Ethically,
logic.
The emotive logic.
Or the logic.
But I think you need to have the emotive logic and the objectivity and the ethical aspiration to do the best, and I don't think you're reaching for the best. I don't think all of those 1,000 people were as, you can assume, were as ethically guilty as you're saying they are. I think some of them may well have been anti-Zionists who were visiting Zionists. Some of them were kids. And either way, to be honest, are you the kind of person who would just blow away somebody who was helpless? I just think that behavior in and
I don't
of
think
itself-
Palestinians do that. I think Israel does that. Israel carpet bombs Gaza knowing that civilians, women and children are being blown away. They blockade Gaza to prevent medical supplies, knowing that children, the 2- and 3-year-olds that are in Gaza, are being starved to death. They don't have medical supplies. Why can't you empathize, Tony, with them? It's not a two-sides issue. It's not a two-sides
I
issue.
want universal empathy.
If you empathize with the criminal, that makes you a criminal.
No, I empathize with the criminal to the extent that I don't think they deserve execution.
No one is advocating genociding Israel. No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
say genesis. I didn't say genocide. It's clear. I said execution. I think it was disproportionate.
It's
and
called
that's-
self-defense.
My argument is.
If someone comes trying to kill someone that you love,
in my self-defense,
God forbid, someone comes to try to kill someone that you love, God forbid, would you support the execution of that person in self-defense? Yes or no?
Daniel, at this
Yes or
point,
no?
I
You can.
think this
That's a very
that's
clear
very clear.
moral question to answer. Yes or
Unfortunately, I
no?
think it misrepresents the reality.
Yes or no? What? Yes or no?
God
God forbid someone comes to harm, kill your loved
To
one.
be clear,
Can that person or you yourself murder or execute? It's not called murder. Execution of the attacker, of the murderer. Can you execute that person in self-defense? Of course, everyone agrees. You don't have to. You don't even have to answer. You not answering makes you look very bad.
No, it's a sign of me trying to be honest and think about the thing deep. Okay? It's like me not just trying to create a knee-jerk reaction, which is what normally happens. Okay? And do you really believe what you just said? Because my understanding of self-defense. No, seriously, think about it. Self-defense to me is the use of minimum force. Someone attacks me, once I've got them on the ground and I've disarmed them and I've got a gun on them.
So someone that killed your kids, you
Hang
hold the
on,
Well, let him finish his scenario.
Let me finish. The definition of self-defense, to me, is the use of proportional, reasonable force once I have got that particular individual, because violence happens at the level of the individual, okay? And I'm trying to get it down to the individual level for the empathy check. Once I've got that person incapacitated, to me, to then execute them is disproportionate. To you seem to be rationalising it on the basis of self-defence. I don't think that falls within the mandate as collective state self-defence and the chain of cause and effect and injustice. I see where you're coming from. But at the individual level of ethics, which is where God will judge us individually, if I individually have got a 19-year-old kid on the ground who wanted to go to a rave, even if they're misguided at 19, because they might be, even if they've really got a bad mindset,
It's conscription,
once they're
idea of
down
conscription.
and out, and also, well, it's going to come to conscription. Conscription don't get to choose. I'm going to judge people on their choices. If you've got
No, there is no
conscripted-
choice.
Okay, well, I feel sorry for anybody who doesn't have a choice. If you're conscripted into an army, even more reason to think, sorry, you don't have a
But
choice.
there are- you
So
can-
if I've got that kid on the ground, I think I've successfully defended myself to the point where I don't now need to execute.
So let's apply this
that reasonable?
scenario, this very reasonable scenario that you have laid out for us. Let's apply it to the actual situation in Palestine and Israel.
Sure.
When the Palestinians are able to have control and they have subdued the Israeli occupation,
Yeah.
and the Palestinians are in control where they're no longer being ethnically cleansed, okay, a situation that we have not seen in 75 years, then the Palestinians, I'm sure, will exercise exactly the proportionality that you're describing. They're not going to ethnically cleanse Israelis, but they're going to right the wrongs when they have control. Right now, they don't have control. They're the victims of an occupation. They're being literally genocided. So the scenario that you have given us is not applicable to the actual ground reality. Do you not acknowledge that?
No, I do. Here's what I find
So the
interesting.
Palestinians have not been in control in order to, they are fighting for their lives. They're fighting, and within any kind of war of self-defense, there will be collateral damage. Everyone acknowledges that. But the level of death and destruction that Israel has put on the necks of the Gazans and killed so many children, so much infrastructure has been wiped out. And you have these Israeli politicians and rabbis who are going on camera and saying that we need to finish them. We need to make them history. Okay, these are the clear statements. So, at what point have the Palestinians been in a position where, in your scenario, they're standing over their attacker and then they are exercising proportionality? They've never been in that situation. They've never been in that.
Can I backtrack? Okay.
Go ahead,
To be
backtrack.
clear, any Zionist or Jewish person who's saying we need to end them, I stand totally against.
Yes,
Okay, can I be clear?
you're very clear. You've been clear on that.
Thank you. Let me quote Sam Harris, because we all know how you guys like Sam Harris. I happen to be
And we know how much he likes us.
Okay, I happen to be a fan of people of good intent, and I think Sam Harris is a man of good intent. Not that I agree
Why?
with everything
He
Look,
said he wants to
listen,
nuke Mecca.
I just want
He said he wants to use nuclear weapons against Muslims.
If he said that, I totally disagree.
It was in his book. It was in
Okay.
his 2004 book.
Okay, I've read it. Which one? The Moral Landscape?
Yeah, he says
I've
that
got it.
in order to teach Muslims a
I
lesson.
could pull the book out the bag
Please.
and we could find it. But let's
Please, no, we can
No,
Google
you
it
know-
right
no,
now.
you know what?
No, he's
Okay, let's do it
infamous.
at the
He's
end.
infamous for this quote.
Let's do it at the end as a coda, okay? Let
Okay.
me try and get back to something Sam Harris said. Sam Harris points out, apparently there's a study where if you show a picture of one starving girl and you ask for a charity appeal, they get a certain amount of money. If you do the same thing and you go, here's her and her brother, you get less money. Okay, now this is an interesting observation on human psychology. So I don't care who it came from, Sam Harris or whoever, as a thing in and of itself, it's interesting. And what it seems to show is that the more we think about people collectively, the more